So this is part two of the class size number 5. We're doing the creating the tic-tac-toe of this is part 2. I am looking at the Android Studio IDE, and I want to, again, this is a brief overview of what you're about to do with all of this, and I want to give you kind of like the big picture of this entire tool. By now you should have gotten some aspect of this with it from our adding of the 2 numbers with the app with it, so I kind of kicked it up a notch with it. So one of the things, of course, just navigation wise, over here in the left hand column, over the first column, that's your window, that's your basically your resource, your project explorer. All your files are developed here with it, right? This right here on the tab, on where I'm pointing at on here with it, I'm going to zoom in as we get into this. As you can see, my mouse on the top are all the tabs of all the files that you're going to be working with today in this project with it. There's going to be a total of 6 files with it, and this is a pretty, at this point, it's a pretty grand project with it. You are looking at the activity underscore main.xml file. And this file right here, if I go over to this, if you look at my cursor on the right hand side on my, kind of like, can you see where my cursor is at circling up here where it says code, split, and design? If I click on code, I can see all the code of that design. If I click on split, it means that I can see the code and the design. If I just click on the design, I would come back to where I started from with it. So with all the tools and text and buttons and widgets I can drag and drop over with it as well. So just to let you know the relationship between the two, we will code this and line by line code with it. There's a reason why I want to go over line by line so you can understand what's going on with it. All right. So we're not going to do the design dragging and dropping over and then coming back to the code. It's just too messy with it. So let me just do this one time. If I click on the code, on so you see where it says code, split, and design, we're going to code this basically with it, right? And you can also do code and split at the same time, meaning you can do the split. Here's the code side of the design, okay? So you can see what's going on both of this as well with it. Let me drag all these they work kind of like curtains, okay? And you can actually drag and move, zoom in, zoom out in each one of these things as well with it. So, of course, your far column over here, that's your simulator. And this is what it looks like with it. So by the end of the game, end of your code with it, everything should be looking like this. So I created what's called Dan.Tic-Tac-Toe game. All right, of course, I didn't create the game with it, right? So you put your name up here, or your first name up here when you do this for me. You do that, make sure you have your first name in here as well. So I'm going to start with X, player 0, that play O takes his or her turn, and I continue to play, and then of course I would have to play both roles of this, right? And then of course thinking like with what I would normally do is, okay, so there you go. So you need to take a screenshot of, okay, there's several things you need to take a screenshot of with this as well. So one of the things is that you take the screenshot of the landing page. I didn't tell you that. That's the first thing you take a screenshot of. And then I asked you to take a screenshot of this game that you are playing as the X with it as well. So you try to beat the other person if you could with it as well. Okay. So that's where I want you to take a screenshot of at the beginning, and also of course the X that you try to beat the player with it as well. So there's 2 players to find somebody that you can beat to take the screenshot of. Okay, sorry. Bring your brother, younger sister out and play with him or her with it as well. All right, this is basically the grand page for this thing. A couple of things again. Let me reiterate. You're going to be working with 6 files, okay, in here, and this is a fairly large file, especially the main activity.java file that you're going to be coding. This particular code has about 200. My code By the time you're done with it, you can have to about 208 lines, okay, approximately with it. That's one of them. The second one, which is fairly large with it as well, is the XML file. That's about 117 lines with it, encoding wise with it. So in each one of these files, that the supporting the resource files that comes, the XML files are a little smaller with it as well. Okay, so we're gonna get into each one of these things in much more detail, but this is what I have for you right now at this time with it. So let me stop my video right here. This concludes part 2 of the big picture before we dive into the detail of each one of these files. All right.